Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him?
I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment, and I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen, and it is happening. But I just think that the picture of politics in America is going to look very differently because of his actions. So I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. But this is not the candidate that I voted for.
I think it's safe to say that Candace has officially fallen. Like, Candace Owens has officially fallen. And I said it before, I'll give it to the end of the year for her to say that she's Muslim and no longer Christian, because she goes against everything. Like, she just no longer upholds the Christian values. I don't see how she can call herself a Christian anymore. You call the people of Israel satanic. You literally have condemned every person that comes into the defense of Israel. You still don't seem to understand Israel yet. I don't know. We'll get into that. But I've never seen somebody with such hatred. After watching Piers Morgan last night, that was some level of hatred that came from you that I've never seen before. And I literally looked at you, looking at you talk, looking at you in your eyes, your facial expressions, you look like you were possessed.
What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to my space. This is Ivan Straela. Guys, thank you so much for tuning to watch this episode. I do not take your support for granted. So far, on today's video, we want to discuss the situation right now with Candace Owens. You know, she's been facing a lot of backlash in America. Recently, she went on a show and she mentioned that she's actually very embarrassed that she voted for Donald Trump, and she asked other Americans, you know, to vote for Donald Trump. And people were mad on her sentiments when it came to Israel. You know, she was mad that Donald Trump started war with Iran, you know, and she wasn't for the support of Israel. And she was calling Israelites to have satanic behaviors, and these did not sit well with many Americans, especially the MAGA voters. Many of them have been going online talking about Candace and asking people to deplatform her because they believe that Candace has been getting, you know, a lot of numbers in a platform because of their support, and right now they're saying they want to deplatform her, and this has made Candace Owens, you know, to offer more than $10,000 to try and understand the people who are pushing the anti-Candace campaign online. So guys, I want you to watch a series of videos of Americans, you know, speaking about the situation with Candace Owens. Once the videos are done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this together, family.
Okay, now I am going to put up a second bounty, and I'm going to make it higher because this is a lot harder to get. It's very specific. $15,000 for the person who can bring me this, okay? So we similarly have received irrefutable proof that there is an organization that is bringing pastors to Israel at this time. They're going to Israel on an all expenses paid trip. This is like non-denominational pastors. When they get back, they're suddenly preaching to their congregants that it's like their moral responsibility, similar to Ted Cruz thing, you know, your biblical responsibility to support Israel at this time, to support like Israel's initiatives. We have all of this on camera, so we're not looking for that proof of that. We also know which organization is funding the trips. We're not looking for that proof either. But specifically, this past weekend, some of these pastors hit the stage and said to their congregants, and we have already videographic evidence of this, that they should not be supporting Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. Wild, crazy. We already have the footage. What I'm specifically wondering is if these, sorry, got cut off there. What I'm specifically wondering is if these pastors are receiving emails from that organization that's funding it, and if those emails are giving them talking points on Sundays regarding Israel, or if they're learning this while they're there. But I would be interested, because of the timing of this, if somebody working in a pastoral office knows more information about that and that they're actually getting talking points before they hit the stage in front of their congregants, like, you know, go after Tucker Carlson this week or go after this organization, anything that's sort of like not pro-Israel aligned. Like I said, we already have the evidence. We have the name of an organization that's doing it. We have videographic evidence of them speaking about Tucker Carlson on stage, as well as myself. But I'm interested if somebody in the pastoral office has an email, a text message that is instructing these pastors on what to say, or if it's just, you know, the bribe of the trip. that's inspiring them or if they're learning that on the trip. Anyways, any information, again, we will keep your information complete. We never, ever, ever reveal who is emailing us. So there's no risk to you. And even if you participate in it, I don't care. I just want to know the answers now of just how deep this goes. $15K for the first individual that can bring me that information if it's out there. tips@CandaceOwens.com. Total infiltration in the churches, which is like especially sadistic to me, but whatever.
I think it's safe to say that Candace has officially fallen. Like, Candace Owens has officially fallen. And I said it before, I'll give it to the end of the year for her to say that she's Muslim and no longer Christian, because she goes against everything. Like, she just no longer upholds the Christian values. I don't see how she can call herself a Christian anymore. You call the people of Israel satanic. You literally have condemned every person that comes into the defense of Israel. You still don't seem to understand Israel yet. I don't know. We'll get into that. But I've never seen somebody with such hatred. After watching Piers Morgan last night, that was some level of hatred that came from you that I've never seen before. And I literally looked at you, looking at you talk, looking at you in your eyes, your facial expressions, you look like you were possessed. I find it comical that you say, like, anyone who was pro-war, neocons, warmongers, whatever, that it's a bad day when MAGA, right, America First, aligns with Lindsey Graham. I would say it's a bad day when anyone who calls himself a Christian aligns with a Nazi. If you have them cheering you on, that's not a good look. I could just say you're fucking up right there. Like, that's just not a good look. How can you call yourself a Christian? And I'm really not trying to be judgmental, but it's just a reality of it. How can you call yourself a Christian and call the people of God satanic? I will help you understand what the nation of Israel is. The nation of Israel is a nation that was created by the people of Israel on the Holy Land that was promised to them. When a lot of people sit here and they defend Israel, we're not defending the IDF, we're not defending Benjamin Netanyahu. We're defending the people of Israel. Okay, we are defending the Holy Lands. We are defending Jerusalem. We understand that there's biblical meaning there. Why that's so confusing to people, I don't know, but you seem to be the one who seems to be confused, because one minute you're talking about the nation, the next minute you're talking about the prime minister, the next minute you're talking about the IDF, and the next minute you're literally calling out Jews. Like, that's where you're crossing a line that it's just, you're not coming back from that at all. I don't see how you can, and it's just one of those things for you. Once again, if you're calling them satanic because the things that they're doing is committing sin, then I would say to you, you've never picked up a Bible, and you are completely denying Jesus' sacrifice. Because for what else was it? For the sinless? Did I learn something different from everyone else who calls himself a Christian? Do we all have different Bibles? Because I feel like we all believe in different things. And that's something that drives me completely nuts. Am I a perfect Christian? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not even close. But I'm not going to sit here and twist the words or deny the words of the Bible. That's not what I'm here to do. Shame on you for that. I'm so sorry, but shame on you for that. That was absolutely disgusting. What I saw on Piers Morgan, the rhetoric you've been spreading on X is absolutely disgusting. I don't know. And I feel like this is part of your paranoia of where you're thinking that micro-influencers are getting paid $1,000 to make anti-Candace videos. Now, I don't know if that's true, if any of you guys are getting paid. If you are, she's offering $10,000 for you to expose whoever's paying you. But in my opinion, the way, or at least the way my mind works, is I would think if she's aware of this, it's because someone brought it to her attention. Now, if someone brought it to her attention, it either was like, hey, someone paid me to make an anti-Candace video, or I overheard someone say that they're getting paid. Why would there be a $10,000 bounty? I would be like, it's either me and I'll tell you who did it, or it's that person, go ask them. Like, so that's one of those things where I just feel like she's just making it up, and I feel like she just doesn't quite, it's just not registering with her why people are just turning their back on her. I really think she thinks this is like another Israel conspiracy thing and just denies any accountability of the things that she's said and done. That's going to be recorded on the internet forever. I don't know if there ever be a day where she looks back and regrets it, but I will also say it's not very Christian for you to condemn everybody who defends Israel, which again, we are defending the people of Israel. We are defending the Holy Land, Jerusalem, but for you to condemn them and say, basically, we're going to go to hell, you've already condemned me before God comes and judges me. You've done that already. Is that your place? I know a lot of people might not understand this message. You might go, like, if you're an atheist or you don't believe in Christianity, then this is obviously not going to be for you. What you need to understand, though, is if you call yourself a Christian, if anyone else is a Christian here, they know exactly what I'm saying. You either are or you're not, and clearly you have fallen so far from that. But I wish you well. I wish you well.
So not only did Candace Owens lost her rabbit-ass mind, but I think it's safe to say she is obsessed with Donald Trump, she hates Jewish people, and Benjamin Netanyahu, particularly Benjamin Netanyahu. And if you're from Israel, yeah, she hates you too. Oh, and if you support Israel, she hates you too. And I don't know how far this hate for Jewish people in Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu and Jewish people are coming from, but you can start at the Daily Wire when she got fired. But let's look at her obsession with Donald Trump. She was a Democrat her entire life until DJT ran for office the first time. She switched and became a Republican, or if she would say independent who voted Republican. And then when she got denied press secretary, she threw a fit. Look it up. She went on a hate rant. So this is just the second time around, because when DJT wasn't president, she didn't care too much about politics. She still hated Benjamin Netanyahu, but she didn't care too much about politics. It was more about drama. But then DJT said he was gonna run again. So to her, this was her other shot to being a press secretary or something government. Well, once again, she got denied. And the hate, back through the roof. It's going, it's on fire. Yeah, October 7 was a real thing. I don't know how she can't see that. And what Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu done since then, I don't see how you can blame the guy from trying to eradicate the pest that came to his front door, to his people. Now, we all know war is not a good thing. It's not fun. Now, we all know war is not fun. By no means. What DJT just did in Iran was preventing World War III. Prevention is always better than cure. See, I don't go around slanging meat raw because I'm trying to prevent getting some kind of STD or STI or something even more grave than that. It's prevention. I don't want to catch some shit and then try to seek a cure. Ask Japan. I'm pretty sure they would have much rather a prevention had happened before Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And if you ask the people of Iran, they are much more happy that the nuclear powered stuff is gone now than to worry about them getting hit in exchange of nuclear weapons. Because that shit back in Hiroshima and Nagasaki was firecracker. It was fireworks compared to the type of shit we got now. So World War III is prevented, and the Democrat in Candace Owens is mad because a more catastrophic event didn't come behind this, so she can say, oh, blame Trump and blame Bibi Netanyahu. That's all it is. And like I said, I think it's safe to say that.
All right, guys, I want to give my perspective about what's going on with Candace Owens that I don't feel like anyone's talking about. So I get there's this entire campaign to unfollow Candace Owens because she came out and straight up said that she's regretting her decision of voting for President Trump due to the fact that Harvard is pretty much being threatened by its supposed freedom of speech. And to be honest with you guys, I am not on the bandwagon to unfollow Candace Owens because aside from an opinion that I don't agree upon with the whole Trump administration and Harvard, There are a lot of things that Candace Owens does bring to light that I feel she's really good at. And the reason why I think she has blown this entire concept out of proportion, because to be quite frankly honest, I still think Candace Owens is harboring negative emotions towards the situation that she had with Ben Shapiro and being fired off of the Daily Wire. And I'm not saying this to mock her, because I've gone through many situations in my business dealing that there was a bitter end to, whether it was a business partnership or a working environment. And to be quite frankly honest with you, especially at the level that Candace Owens was at, where she literally talked about she thought her entire career was going to come to an end because of the campaign they had waged against her. There has to be some part of her that still feels bitter by the entire situation, especially the way Candace Owens always presents herself when she came out and said she's sick and tired of politics. She's tired of politicians that lie. So it seems like she got up to a fed up point, but doesn't realize that maybe she hasn't detoxed some of those hurt feelings that she had towards that situation. And that great saying says, you can either let life situations make you bitter or make you better. And in my opinion, whether this is truth or not, just my own experience in life is that I feel like Candace Owens is still in a bitter phase towards what happened with her and the Daily Wire. And because she's still bitter about it, she probably has a negative mindset towards the concept of Israel, Jewish people, because the whole basis behind why she got fired was Ben Shapiro and all the executives at Daily Wire was calling her anti-Semitic, because she felt like all she was doing was just questioning things about Israel, and she was accused of being anti-Semitic, and there was just so much toxicity surrounding the fact that she couldn't ask any questions about Israel. So I could imagine that obviously created a negative mentality, and maybe Candace Owens needs to take a moment to really reflect upon, is her personal hurt feelings getting involved in the judgment of this whole Harvard situation? Because I read the letter that was sent to Harvard, and first and foremost, if you're going to get federal funding, there should be rules in place. And that's what the letter stated, is that if Harvard wanted to continue to get federal funding, they had to agree upon the terms that the federal government was putting in place. Again, Harvard is a private university that donors can fund, or you can apply to get federal aid. And just like in anything else in life, if you're going to get help from anyone, you would expect that there were certain rules that you had to follow. All of this is voluntary to Harvard if they wanted to continue to get federal funding. But what I don't agree with Candace Owens is she's acting as if Harvard is entitled to taxpayer dollars to fund their private university. They're not entitled to it. If they don't agree and they feel that their freedom of speech is infringed upon by President Trump and his administration, then they just don't have to take the federal funding. And I read through the letter. There was only 2 parts in there talking about how they are going to have disciplinary action towards the group of people that beat up the student for being Jewish. And it also talks about how they will not support groups that are anti-Semitic towards Israel and Jewish people. And then the rest of the letter, in my opinion, after reading it, it was just about restoring the integrity of education in universities like President Trump said he was going to do, and not push these ideologies of DEI, hire proper faculty based on merits, making sure that teachers that are pushing this woke agenda are properly reprimanded, and keep the universities where kids can go get an education, not get pushed woke ideology. And the last thing I will say is, if you haven't detoxed that bitterness and really learned the positive lesson that came out of every negative situation, of course, anything that happens will only be heightened by your emotion. So when she brought up Friedman talking about arresting her and Tucker Carlson ruining their lives for being anti-Semitic towards Israel and Jewish people, of course, you're going to overreact when you're bitter about a scenario. But in my opinion, as I've always stated, there's always going to be extremists in both parties. But ultimately, the only time we can cast judgment is when an extremist speaks. Does President Trump execute on what they're saying? So honestly, it's too early to tell if what Candace Owens is saying is that President Trump is slowly infringing upon all of our freedom of speech and is starting with Harvard, or maybe it's never going to be the truth. Time will only tell, but that's just my opinion of what I think is going on with Candace Owens. I don't think she's compromised. I think honestly, she's just fed up and she hasn't detoxed her bitter feelings towards what happened with her in the Daily Wire.
So Candace Owens says she don't regret voting for Donald Trump, but she is embarrassed that she told other people to vote for him, and then saying that this is not the candidate she voted for. I don't understand that when they say that. Like, this is exactly who you voted for. Y'all act like Trump wasn't showing who he was the whole time, and now you're on national television talking about you regret telling people to vote. The dude has not switched up. What is this switch up that y'all talking about? He is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Am I tripping? Am I tripping, bro? He doing exactly what he said he was going to do. So where is this? Oh, this is not my candidate. This is not the person. I've been trying to figure that out since y'all been saying it, bro. I've been trying to figure that out. So please miss me with this nonsense of this ain't your candidate. Donald Trump is America's president because that is who America voted for as a majority. Okay? And this is the same man that you told people to go vote for. So please, miss me with this nonsense, okay?
It's official. Candace Owens has lost her fucking mind. I was going to refrain to comment on this because I just thought, you know what? Let's agree to disagree. If nothing else, this proves that MAGA is not a cult because we don't all blindly follow Donald Trump. Although I respect every decision that he has made and I am still a supporter. Even I questioned, is this a good thing when the bomb hit the facility? Would it lead to war? But because I said, you know what, I'm going to hold back my comments. I'm going to wait and let's see how this pans out because I trust this man. That's why I voted for him. What she is saying is aligning. She sounds like a fucking Democrat. And besides the fact that, like, just what she's saying, watching her on Piers Morgan, like, she used to be so calculated. She would sit quiet. She would let people bury themselves. And then she would really intelligently pick them apart. No, she was just irately talking over him, screaming, sounding like a fucking lunatic leftist. I'm so upset because I just wanted to agree to disagree with her and hope that maybe she would come around. But she has lost her ever-loving fucking mind. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Am I a little surprised by Trump? Yeah, I am. Especially because it's just so soon and so fast and so obvious as he's talking about building hotels. The Trump hotel to be built in the Gaza Strip while there are literally children starving today there. What kind of a tweet is that? 2 entire years they have been effectively carpet bombed. And you and Jared Kushner are out there talking about building hotels and what an impressive real estate portfolio you might have if people began to see Gaza as an investment. All we have to do is murder these people.
Hey everybody. Candace Owens. She done crawls out from underneath that fucking rock to say that she's sorry she supported Trump. Bitch, please. Ain't nobody want to hear your apology. You full of shit. You a sellout to your own fucking people. Shut up, Candace Owens. Nobody give a damn that you sorry you supported Trump. Bitch! Shut the fuck up, Candace Owens. Take your ass and crawl back under that fucking rock in which you came. Go on. Crawl back under the fucking rock. Because nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear your apologies. Bitch. Sellout. Stupid ass. Get on my fucking nerves. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Ain't nobody goddamn care. How about that? Crawl your ass back under that fucking rock. Gone! Gone!
Candace Owens, Candace Owens, Candace Owens. Shame on you. You're coming at Israel as if you are an advocate for Iran and the ability for them to have a nuclear weapon. I don't know what happened to you because you're not MAGA anymore. MAGA stands behind their president even though we don't want war, there are some times you have to use what we call the necessary evil. And in this case, one of our mortal enemies gaining the ability to have nuclear weapons, it cannot happen. And I'm MAGA to the core, but I got common sense. It cannot happen. And those of you that are MAGA, who are rolling with Candace Owens, you're not MAGA. Because now you're pushing the Barack Obama deal that was invoked with Iran when Obama was the president. This is what you're doing. So you don't hear them saying death to America, death to Israel, death to the UK. If you don't hear that, then you shouldn't be in this conversation. There's no way in hell that Iran should ever have the ability to own a nuclear weapon. As a matter of fact, Israel actually has nuclear weapons. If Israel wanted to be an asshole, they could have just nuked Iran. Which shows that Israel still has grace. Because at the same time, while Iran is yelling and screaming death to Israel, you would have thought Israel says death to Iran and just obliterated Iran. So Israel has shown some grace. But you guys are trying to perpetrate it as if Israel started all this shit. You know, on October 7th, who killed 1,500 Israelis? It wasn't Israel. This shit didn't happen till Hamas, who is a proxy group for Iran, started this shit. And Hamas and Iran had learned one thing. It's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. So all this crap I keep hearing about Donald Trump should have never dropped the bomb. Donald Trump we should have never got involved. Hey, no Americans died, no troops on the ground, and it's not going to be a nuclear war. Because you know why? Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons anymore, nor do they have the capabilities. Oh, sure, you're going to talk about China, you're going to talk about Russia, you're going to talk about North Korea. They're not going to get involved. Trust me. They're not going to get involved. But I will tell you this. You people that are so-called MAGA, and you're standing behind Candace Owens and the bullshit she's touting against Israel, because you know what? Israel is an ally. Iran is not. Whether you like some of the things that Israel does or doesn't do, they're still our ally. And that means they're our friends. So when we go to war, what you don't want, because the people like you that are talking stupid shit about Israel, what you don't want you to allies say, hey, you weren't there when we needed you. You handled this by yourself. So the picture is much bigger than you people seem to think. And yes, I 100% agree. Drop the fucking bomb. Destroy their nuclear capabilities. Because I'm sick of them I'm sick of them saying and touting death to Americans, death to Israelis, and death to the UK. Because eventually, if they got the chance, they would try it. As a matter of fact, all the sleeper cells are already in the United States. That's what you need to worry about more than anything else, is the sleeper cells. They're already here. You best believe they're already here. So all you people worry about one thing over there, you better worry about the things that could go on over here. For damn sure. There's no troops on the grounds, so shut your mouth. There's no Americans killed, so shut your mouth. And be thankful Iran does not have the capability of creating a nuclear weapon. TikTok America, thank you for your time. You fools that are calling yourself MAGA and you're roasting behind Candace Owens and that bullshit she's touting, you are moderate. You're not MAGA, so get the hell out of our club. Your membership is officially canceled. And I don't even believe in cancel culture.
Okay, let's catch you up, because yes, Candace Owens really did say she's embarrassed she ever supported Trump. Not annoyed, not disappointed, embarrassed. And let's talk about why this actually matters. So she goes on Piers Morgan and says Trump has been, quote, a chronic disappointment. And no, she's not talking about mean tweets or debates. She's talking about Iran. According to her, backing airstrikes in the Middle East is exactly the opposite of what MAGA stands for. And she's not alone. Tucker Carlson, Bannon, MTG, they're all throwing shade now. But Candace took it further. She's straight up saying that Trump is doing this for pro-Israel donor money, up to $100 million worth. That's not just a pivot. That is a whole breakup speech. So where does that leave us? If one of Trump's loudest ride or dies is out over what she says her stance is on foreign wars and donor influence, then yeah, something is shifting. This isn't about left versus right anymore. It's about MAGA versus Trump. Is this Candace's permanent exit or just a public tantrum?
So right now, the lack of consistency, it is stunning to watch Trump do this. He's all over the place right now on social media. I mean, he initially signaled right away that America had nothing to do with what happened in Iran, that America was not going to get involved, that he was negotiating peace. Then he signaled that he didn't have any idea that the attack was coming, but also that he did know that the attack was coming. And now he's tweeting "we." He's literally using "we" to describe what is happening in Iran right now. Let's just take a look at some of these tweets. "We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. Oh, well, hey, yeah, we've got our planes in the skies. Okay, American troops might die, but USA, 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 because our stuff is so good and good looking in the sky. The big bad American planes are in the sky. What does he think? We're stupid? And the people online that are trying to pretend that we are the ones betraying Trump for holding him accountable to his promises that he made to us when we voted for him, when we encouraged other people to vote for him. You're pretending that we're the ones that are problematic? This level of gaslighting that's taking place. You got Laura Loomer out there saying, screenshot every tweet that's against Donald Trump. Let me tell you something, sweetheart. You better start capturing Donald Trump's tweets that are going out right now because they seem pretty against Donald Trump's ideas of yesteryear. That's all I'm saying. Everything that he said, every bit of BS that he called out, calling out the neocons, the people that...
During the election period in 2024, amongst the celebrities who are very vocal, to try and give Donald Trump support, for the forefront was Candace Owens. She used to support Donald Trump very, very much. And according to different sources, they say she was supporting Donald Trump because she wanted a position in his government, especially the press, in the government, and the one for the White House. Many people have speculated that, but that did not happen. And right now, after Donald Trump, started war with Iran in defense of Israel, that did not sit well with her. She took, to her platform and in an interview, and she mentioned that she's very embarrassed that she voted for Donald Trump, and she asked other Americans, from her platform, to support Donald Trump as the next president of the United States of America. And what has made many Americans mad is her stand on Israel, saying that the people of Israel are satanic. Jews and Israelites have not taken that well. And Americans as well are so mad, especially the MAGA voters who are in support of Trump. Most of them are saying enough is enough. She's been doing a lot and it's time that she's deplatformed. And it's been trending on Twitter and on TikTok, people saying that Candace should be unfollowed, after she talked ill, of Israel. And after she said publicly that she regrets voting Donald Trump and asking Americans to vote for Donald Trump. Candace also offered to pay $10,000 for the anti-Candace campaign. She wants to know the person who's pushing for this campaign against her brand. And people are telling her it's not a campaign against the brand. There is no one she will pay that money. The whole idea is that people for the first time do not like her views, over Israel. Candace Owens has faced a lot of backlash online. I think this is the most she's ever faced. And this is just one that is is threatening to her brand, is threatening to whatever she's been working for all these years. People are saying that she doesn't uphold Christian values by attacking Israel. She's called Israelites satanic. How can you call yourself a Christian and call the people of God satanic? People are saying the people of Israel are the people of God. How does she come on her big platform, you know, a big brand, and call these people satanic? That did not sit well with Americans. People are defending Israel for its biblical meaning, you know, but that is not what Candace believes. You know, people are saying that the only reason they're protecting Israel is the biblical meaning. Candace Owens says she was embarrassed for voting for Trump because of the support he was giving Israel, and told other voters to vote for him. If you support Israel, you are or you are Jewish, she hates you. You know, that's the whole idea that Americans are getting from the stand that Candace has been pulling over the recent past. That if you support Israel or you're Jew, she doesn't like you. And people have not liked her. And people have taken to the social media platforms, and you've seen some of the few videos of Americans who are raised, Americans who are ready to unfollow her, Americans who are ready to deplatform her. This is what is happening right now. And guys, I'd like you to share in the comment section down below what do you think about what is happening right now with Candace Owens. Like this video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users, and I'd be very, very grateful. Guys, I'd also request in a special way that you do consider subscribing to the channel, because currently we are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and guys, I need your support more than ever before. As we start this second half of the year, my wish is that we may grow together and you all may be able to share our work. Thank you. I'll be sharing more news as the events unfolds. Thank you so much, and see you all in our next episode. Goodbye for now.